Vijay Sridhara back again. I felt that I did not do a good tutorial on ImageLibrarian. Now that it has come onto 0.4 version, which is pretty stable, and with all the features I wanted specifically, I think I will do a tutorial now. Now this will be helpful to you. Now what is ImageLibrarian? ImageLibrarian is a manager to manage all your photos. If you are a digital artist, if you are a photographer, I am sure that you will have thousands of pictures in your hard disk lying somewhere, and whenever you want to do some job, you need some photographs and you don't know where they are exactly. You'll end up searching a lot of folders and it doesn't load very quickly. So it is for that reason. There are many other softwares out there, but this is open source and free for you. You can use it as you like, and it is very simple, lightweight. So let me show you how after the installation it appears in your computer. It could be Windows 10 or Windows 11. So when I open the computer, when I open ImageLibrarian after the installation, it will tell me that the archive directory is not initialized. Select a folder which can easily accommodate about 500 MB to 10 GB based on your collections. You may have 1 terabyte of data, but this would require about 5 to 10 GB of data to store the cached thumbnails, right, to quickly show it to you. So let me quickly create a new folder here. So this is my used currently being used copy, so I just backed it up. I will say image cache, and I will select this folder first time, and then it says this cache needs initialization. Click OK and reopen the settings. Okay, so it has set. You don't have to close ImageLibrarian, you can just close that settings box. So if you reopen the settings again, it tells you that there are 2 archives that are in there. One is main archive, which is constantly shown to you, which is not private, and there is a private archive too, whose password is just 123. This private archive is not shown because there are certain situations where you open your computer and suddenly somebody comes behind you and you do not want certain pictures to be shown to them or seen by them. It could be private pictures, it could be something confidential pictures that you don't want to show them. So keep all those things into private archive, and it is just created for a simple safety. It doesn't carry much of significance. So unless you specify show private also here, the archive will not be listed here. So by default a main archive is shown. You can see in the left side tree. This is a tree view. Once you load the folders, all of them will appear as tree here. Unless you select this checkbox, the private archive will not be shown. So if you select private archive, it will ask for password. As I said, the password is simple 123. It is not encrypted or anything. It is put as 123. You can change the password. It doesn't mean anything actually. It is only to safeguard your privacy to a little extent. So now you can see your private archives. Now if you don't want to see your private archive, you can still you can uncheck this box and set as main archive. Now in main archive, what are the different places in this tool? So you can see this is just a icon here. Then there is a organization of your folder structures, and then you have a toolbar, a very simple toolbar, not too much cluttered. You don't have too many operations here. You have a workspace where the thumbnails are shown here. You have a log here where the processing information is shown. You have a search box here on the right side, you can see, and then different tags on your images, comments on your images, and some metadata. Metadata is like what is the size of the image, with what software was it edited previously, and what are the which camera did you use while shooting this, etc., so on and so forth. So all that metadata. You have few icons here which they speak for themselves. You can import a folder along with its subfolders. You can import multiple image files directly, and you can also export the selected files to a specific folder. So selected files will come from the workspace here. And then there is about ImageLibrarian, and then the settings. In the settings, image editor. Suppose if you want to edit any image using GIMP or Photoshop or Affinity, I will go with Affinity and I will show you how it works. Affinity, where is Affinity? Okay, Affinity Photo, and then I will select photo, right? And you can put up to 3 programs. One can be Photoshop, other can be GIMP or Krita or any other program. So right now I am limiting it to 3 programs. Okay, you say okay, now let's import the folders directly. Okay, where are my images stored? After I purchase or photograph, I will keep all my images in a folder called art. So this is where I keep my images, for example. So these are PNG images and JPEG images. So I select a folder, stock FXX, okay, and PNGs. Now I know that there are multiple folders. It will ask me to which category do you want them to be put in as. So I will say these are stock FXX, whatever. And then if there are any orphaned photos, which means which are not put into subfolders, which are directly under the selected folder, all of them are put under subcategory default. So now I select subfolders. So it will alert me saying that this will take a long time based on how many folders or subfolders exist. I will tell you, though there may be subfolders, all of them will be put into one level of subfolders. I will show you in a minute. So I will say yes, I will only select JPEG and PNG. There are no BMP pictures, I know. So I will say okay. So everything is shown, the loading procedure is shown here, which folder, and then you have a facility to cancel this process at any point in time. But I will not cancel for now, I will retain it. All images are resized and moved to cache. So let me show you how the cache looks like. So this is the image cache I set, and this is the repository where the images are being the image information is being stored, and then there is a cache images where all the thumbnails are being stored, renaming them, giving them a number. This is a SQLite database. If you want to edit it and look into it, you can look at it using SQLite, any SQLite database manager. So let's complete this. So there are a couple of SQL errors here while inserting, because there is a single quote. This is a known issue. If the file name has single quote, that is very rare. Not everybody puts a single quote into the file name. So if you put single quotes into the file name, there could be issues. So those files will be ignored. The rest of them will be processed as usual. So I will pause here and then come back once done. Okay, now that it is done, you can see that under stock FXX category in the main archive, we have these folders of images that have come in. 321 images, for example, in children are there. These are not PNGs, but these are JPEGs. And all of them have tags. If you can notice, there is a left side tag, left top. There is a tag here, which means it is tagged. Why is it tagged? Because it is not directly under children perhaps, if I select one of them, you can see that all the folder structure has been put into the tags, so that while searching for images, so this big folder structure, if I show it to you here, it will become too cluttered for you to manage. So I have given only two levels of categorization. There is an archive level, which is the main level of categorization, where you have a private archive or a main archive. You can have n number of archives. Okay, we are working with main archive. In that main archive, there are two levels of categorization. One is the category, and then there is a subcategory. Alright, so any other subfolders under this folder will not be considered to be added to this structure, but they will be put into tags so that you understand under which folder is this falling in. So you can see that this is Alice in Wonderland. So if I search for Alice, so all the Alice images would come in here. So similarly, let me show you the folder structure of the source images. So for example, here in children, the images are directly under children in the source folder. In comics, they are not directly under the comics folder, but there are 100 other folders in this. However, all these folders are not considered here, right? You can only see comics and all the comic images, 1397 images. Imagine how much time does the file explorer takes to show you all these thumbnails. This will show you so quickly, right? So all these images are shown here, but where is the subfolder structure gone? The subfolder structure, you can look in the tags. So in the version 0.4, this is what I have upgraded. The folder location is shown here, the image location is shown here, the selected image. All the folder structure is converted into tags, removing the drive name and the file name. The folder structure is put here. You can add more comments or you can add more tags to it also. It doesn't stop you to add more. So I don't think there is any image information on this as of now we can get. So metadata is empty. You can also add some comments. So you can see the comment icon appears here on the image, and at the same time you can also rate the image, right? So let's go back to this and see and come back here. Okay, so that was somewhere lost. The image is lost somewhere. So I have put I like the image somewhere, right? I want to search that image, so I can search that image, right? So although I cannot visually search it, I can do a search from the search box, right? So that is a potential that this tool has. And then weapons, you can also see all the weapons may be categorized into multiple subfolders here. I am not touching your subfolder structure, right? I am not. This is a non-destructive way of categorizing all your images without touching the source file. I am only reading the source file, creating a thumbnail, giving it some tags, and allowing you to comment and tag it more. I am also giving you the image information. For example, if you look at the children images where these are JPEGs, you can see that this image height and width here, the most important information that is there on the metadata is put forth for you to make use of it. Now I want to edit it, or I want to see a bigger picture. So I double click this, so it will show you here. You can make any cropping like this. For example, you can do a cropping and then save it to the original file, or I will reset this image to original, or you can also save a copy to somewhere else. You can also copy this image from here and directly paste it into your Affinity Photo or Photoshop or wherever you want, or in a Word document. You can also resize the image and then save it If you save it here, it will directly save it into your original image location. So don't do those save operations. You can save as instead to a different location. You can also open any other image in this simple image editor to do similar operations. So these are the simple operations that are available here. Simple operations. And then if you want to reset the image, you can reset it to the original, and then if you want to set it to screen size, you can also set it from this fit to screen. So the zoom level is shown here, and then that is all in this simple editor. For example, if you want to edit it using Affinity Photo, so you remember that we have set the image editor program 1 to be Affinity Photo, so that is shown here. I choose photo, and this image is taken up for image editing, and this can be directly saved there, and I can refresh the thumbnail. For example, I change a little color to this, say, and then save it, right? And here it is not reflecting. Whatever the operation that I have done in Affinity is not reflecting. So what I do is I just refresh the thumbnail from here. So it will it will create a new thumbnail out of it and save it, right? But if you edit it directly within the within this editor, you don't have to refresh the thumbnail. It will auto do this for you, because it knows that you have taken it for editing and you have done the editing. So you can see that the editing is automatically taken care of. And then you can change the category of this image from children to anything else, or you can also export resize, remove the thumbnail, which means that the source file exists in your source folders, which are the main folders, but only the cached image is removed. You can also show the file in the Explorer, File Explorer, by clicking this, and then you can also delete from the disk. You want to remove this file from the source original folder, and then you can also copy it to some other folder. You can do a select all and then do whatever the operation you want to. You can also copy the same image to exist in two places. So let's copy this image and also paste into default. Okay, default doesn't have any images. You need to have some images to be able to paste that. Okay, so I will paste here. So this image has come here. You can see that the two girls are here, and you will also find them here. So the original image is untouched. Only a pointer is kept in both categories. So according to the file name sequence, it has come here, but you can also remove it from here. Remove thumb. If you say that, let's say remove thumb. So it is removed from here. If you remove thumbnail from one category, it doesn't reflect in another category. It still exists there. It only doesn't exist here. You can see at G, right? The position G, grenade. It doesn't exist anymore here. So you can make use of your private archive also in a similar fashion. You just have to ensure that it is clicked. You select private archive, you give the password 123, and then your private archive is ready to be populated. You can also selectively add pictures. Then I can directly add images without looking at the folders. So I will select few images, for example, into the private archive. I can import the folders. I can also add images directly in any archive. So ensure that your file names do not have single quotes at this point in time. So I will create a new category called, and then you can give any category. For example, this is September. There are no subfolders I am aware of. So I just say OK. So it adds the images directly under children, September. you can only search the images within the current archive. The search will not search all the images in all archives. Whatever archive that you have selected here in this drop down, only that archive will be used for searching. You can also export the images. For example, these 3 images I can select and export to this in a resized manner with some border. Isn't that wonderful? It will also create outer folder, maximum length. So whichever is long side, if the image is a vertical image, then the longest side is the height. If the image is a horizontal image, then the longest side is the width. So here for the selected images, the longest side is of course the width. So let's see how it draws borders. And it has processed these files. Now this is shown to us. So this is how it puts the borders. You can quickly add borders to your images. The maximum length it says is 1024, right? That is all I have in this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching.